got a ton of requests to dig into this new Google AI,
Yeah,
Gemini 2.5,
Gemini,
dropped just yesterday, March 25th, 2025.
right?
And people are saying this is the biggest thing yet from Google DeepMind.
Definitely seems like their most intelligent model so far, and the fact that it's
Yeah.
already out there in the wild.
Mhm.
The pro experimental versions in AI Studio for developers,
Right.
and even the Gemini app for advanced subscribers. So
Yeah, it's out there.
it's out there.
So we got to like break this down, right? Like,
Yeah,
what are the big takeaways here?
yeah. What's actually important
What actually
for
matters?
people to know right now?
Exactly. So like what's the core of Gemini 2.5? What's
Well,
the big idea?
the big thing is it's this thinking model.
Right.
So instead of just processing information, it's meant to actually reason
Mm.
before it responds, which is really interesting because it means the
Yeah.
analysis is going to be better.
Mhm.
It understands context a lot more deeply, and that, of
Right.
course, is going to lead to better accuracy.
So it's not just like pattern recognition, it's like actually
Exactly.
detail.
Yeah, it's getting closer to actual understanding, like we would think
Yeah.
about a problem.
So how's that play out?
Yeah, so where
Just give
it's
me an example.
really showing is in the coding abilities.
Okay.
The leap is huge from 2.0.
Really?
It can generate really complex web applications now. It can create like
Wow.
agentic code, so code that can act
Mhm.
on its own. It can transform existing code.
Interesting.
Just to give you a concrete idea,
Yeah.
it hit 63.8% on the SWE bench verified benchmark using a custom agent setup.
Okay.
So
That's big for the coders out there.
yeah, anyone in software development, that's a huge jump.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
And it's
like, can
good.
it handle all the same kinds of information like the old Gemini could?
Yeah, so it's still natively multimodal.
Okay.
So text, audio, images, video, you
Oh,
name it, even entire code repositories. But the really big news is the context window.
okay.
It can handle 1 million tokens right now.
A
They're
million.
already talking about doubling that to 2 million.
What does that even mean?
Well, think about this.
Like, what does that unlock?
You can feed it like massive research papers,
Oh, wow.
legal documents, huge data sets,
Okay.
and it won't lose the thread.
Okay.
It can understand the nuances and the connections
It's that
across all of it.
real deep understanding across a huge
Exactly.
amount of
Yeah.
information.
Problems with a level of depth we've never seen before.
So it's the thinking leading to better insights.
Yeah.
It's the coding skills boosting productivity.
Yes.
And then it's this massive context window that lets it tackle
Yeah,
these huge challenges.
absolutely.
Where are we going to see this making a difference?
I mean, you could already see it in
like right away.
software development, code generation, debugging,
Yeah.
real-time assistance, all that's going to be transformed.
Right.
But think about research, analyzing huge data sets, finding new patterns,
Wow.
content creation, working with all those different media types,
Okay.
finance, analyzing market trends, or even in healthcare,
Right.
potentially correlating really complex medical data.
Huh. So what about just the technical specs? Like
Yeah.
what are the nuts and bolts here?
So it takes text, image, audio, and video as input,
Okay.
but it mainly outputs text.
Gotcha.
It has that huge 1 million token input window, 64,000 token output.
Okay.
And its knowledge base is up to January 2025.
So it's pretty fresh.
Very fresh. And importantly, that thinking mode we talked about
Right.
is always on in this experimental version.
Okay. And what are people saying?
Yeah, so the early
Right.
reviews are very positive. It's sitting at #1 on the El Marina leaderboard.
Okay.
It's showing top performance on a lot of the key benchmarks for
Oh, okay.
math and science, often even beating out the most recent models from other companies.
Interesting.
And it's showing a really strong grasp of long and complex text.
So what's next for Gemini?
Well, they've already said they're going to expand that context window even further to 2 million tokens.
Wow.
And they're really focusing on enhancing those thinking capabilities
Okay.
in future models and continuing to push the limits of coding performance.
So it's not stopping here?
No,
Oh.
not at all.
What else?
They're also going to be integrating it with Google's cloud platform
Okay.
for businesses, which is Vertex AI.
Right.
And they've got some really ambitious projects in the works
Like what?
in areas like robotics.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like the impact's going to be pretty broad.
So Gemini 2.5, it's not just like a
Right.
small update.
No, it's
This is a whole other level.
a real leap forward in reasoning and coding,
Yeah.
handling different types of information, and just the sheer amount it can process.
So I guess the question is if we're now at a point where AI can think through problems instead of just
Yeah,
processing information. What
exactly.
does that even mean?
It suggests a
Like, how is that going to change the world around us?
shift in what these models are capable of.
Yeah. How's it going to change the tools we use? How's it going to change
Yeah.
how we solve problems?
How we think about problems, even.
Yeah. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Absolutely.
That's all the time we have for today, but we'll keep an eye on this and bring you the latest.
For sure.
As always, you can find us on all the socials. We
Yeah.
are